Now that 2020 is in the rearview mirror, we can consider some of the things it had us contemplating. There is no doubt 2020 has left us all thinking more about, are we set up or prepared for a disaster, whatever that may entail? Illness, natural disasters, and personal finances. Have I saved enough for a rainy day or if I lose my job? So if you have lost a loved one to COVID, you have probably felt this even more, which is why we are determined to make sure you are prepared. Today, we want to focus on the top 3 reasons you should have a trust. So just a quick intro. I'm Katie Card-Niedermeyer with the Card Team at American Pacific Mortgage. I help families with home financing and especially focus on coaching first-time homebuyers, which is why I consider myself a home loan coach. Today, I'm joined by Samantha Smith, an associate attorney at NM Law in Tustin. So Sam, can you do a quick intro for us?
Yes, thanks, Katie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for catching our video. I've been practicing law for 6 years in the areas of trust, probate, and real estate law. I help families plan and create documents that make up their estate plan, such as the trust, wills, and agency documents. The primary purpose of putting these documents together and plan together is to avoid being subject to the probate court upon either your incapacitation and death.
Got it. So Sam, let's get right into it. What are the top 3 reasons to have a trust, and specifically for someone who has children?
Yes, so the top reason to have a trust is to avoid the probate court. Anyone in the state of California who passes away with assets that exceed a value of $166,250 will likely have to be subject to a probate court proceeding when they pass away. So attorney's fees in any probate court proceeding are always going to be set by the gross value of assets that you're bringing through the probate court. So for example, anyone here in the state of California who owns a home is likely going to be valued over that $166,250 mark. So on a modest estate of only $500,000 gross, now this does not count what the equity in the house is or anything like that, it's just the gross value, the minimum attorney's fees is going to be $15,000. So that is why we want to avoid having to be subject to the probate court upon our death. A conservatorship proceeding is another probate court proceeding that you might be subject to in the event you don't have these documents and plan in place. It entails people's capacity. So people who lose capacity, maybe from a car accident, who are in a coma or dementia or even early onset Alzheimer's, all these people are at risk of being subject to a conservatorship proceeding for the rest of their lifetime. It needs to be in place if they don't have the plan and documents in place. Now, if you have kids, especially minor children, all parents who have children who are minors should need to have a guardianship nomination form. This is the only way that you're going to be able to express your desires, your mutual desires as parents, as to who will be the guardian of your minor children if anything were to happen to both parents. This is especially important for single parents and parents who do not want one set of grandparents, for example, to have kids over another set of grandparents. Having that guardianship nomination form is your best chance to avoid a very long and emotional guardianship proceeding in a probate court. Lastly, if you own a business, you want to make sure that your ownership shares or your membership interest, if it's an LLC, are transferred or assigned into your trust so that your spouse and or your kids will not have to be dragging those business accounts, those business assets, mostly it's bank accounts and inventory and things like that, through the probate court. Because again, the attorney's fees are going to be much higher when you go through the probate court, and you have to give notice to creditors. It's always required. And then you also have to have a very long delay. A probate court proceeding takes at least 12 to 24 months to complete.
Wow. So just to recap, and I know there's a lot of, verbiage in there that, probate and conservatorship. But the top 3 reasons to avoid probate, right? If you own a property, avoid probate if you have kids, right? To lay out who's going to take care of them, and then avoid going to court if you own a business, and you have shares that are going to go to your family.
Right.
I know it's definitely daunting for people to think about. And sometimes, especially as younger people, maybe we think, well, nothing's going to happen, but this is all about planning for, the disaster, right? Planning for something that, happens. It's maybe unexpected. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for your time. We hope that this helps you to understand more clearly why a trust is important and why, especially after 2020, peace of mind is top of mind. Thank you.
Thank you.